What's going on, sports fans? It's K-Stu the GOAT for Vernon Speak Sports, talking about Auburn football and the rest of the SEC. Man, the block is getting real hot on this recruiting trail with signing day just a few days away, February the 6th. That's when the big time National Signing Day will be going on, and you have some kids that are still not signed yet. So I think George Pickens for Auburn, who is still on the bubble, is going to wait till the last day to sign. Now, I did a little content on him yesterday as it relates to this recruiting thing, but things are really starting to get hectic for the Auburn Tigers in keeping this young man from flipping to some other schools. Now, on December the 21st, Miami actually offered George Pickens. Now, if you know the backstory on Miami, you know they recently got rid of Coach Mark Richt. They just had an offensive debacle this year, going 7-6, horrible play calling schemes, poor play at quarterback. So there's a lot of question marks, but I know a dude like George Pickens could really help lead the charge in reestablishing their offense. But I don't think Miami has a good enough selling point. Getting rid of the whole offensive coordination, there's too many unknowns as far as where George Pickens would fit into their scheme. But nonetheless, Miami did make a very aggressive pitch towards him towards the end as we close out the getting close to National Signing Day. As a matter of fact, in the wake of him receiving the Under Armour All-American Award, he got a visit from Miami, and then he got a chance to take a trip down to South Beach and visit Miami on an official visit just days before the National Signing Day. Another school who's become very aggressive in looking at George Pickens is the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, I think Georgia has the most viable threat to flip George Pickens from Auburn because they already have a quarterback in place in Jake Fromm, who has been pretty effective. The only thing is, Georgia does have a new offensive coordinator, so it would, it's still some question marks there. So I think Georgia might be one of the schools that have a threat to flip George Pickens because, one, they have to replace Riley Ridley. So there's definitely room, even though Georgia did get two very good receivers in this year's recruiting class, they could definitely benefit from the height and the speed and the strength of George Pickens to continue Georgia's national championship, competing for national championships and, 2 consecutive SEC championship game appearances would be a great sell for George Pickens. Now, Auburn on the other side, I think Auburn is still very, very solid. I think they do have some things to be concerned about, obviously because he hasn't signed yet. But he has an incredible relationship with Bo Nix. I think he likes the culture of Auburn, and I think he will remain a commit at Auburn, but it's getting real hot, baby. Once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT for Vernon Speak Sports. If some stuff comes along with this George Pickens thing, I'll be the first to let you guys know. But I'm telling you, man, Miami and Georgia, they are really hot and heavy on his tail trying to get him to sign with them as we approach National Signing Day. Once again, like, comment, and subscribe. War Eagle.